Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What? Has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Well, Horatio says this for our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him touching this dreadful sight twice seen of us. Therefore, I entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night. And again, this apparition comes, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, will not appear.
Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified against our story, what we 2 nights have seen.
Well, sit we down and let us hear Bernardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one.
Peace! Break thee off! Look where it comes again!
In the same figure like the king that's dead.
That thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio!
Looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio!
Very like. It harrows me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Question it, Horatio!
What art thou that usurps this time of night, together with the fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak!
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
It is gone, I will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on't?
By my God, I might none of this believe without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Looks it not like the king?
As thou art thyself. So frowned he once when in angry quarrel he smote the sledded Pollux on the ice. 'Tis most strange.
This twice now, and jump at this dead hour, and with watch and stalk has he gone by a watch.
In what particular thought to work I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state. But soft, lo, where it comes again. I'll cross it though it blast me. Stay! Illusion! If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done which may do thee ease and grace to me, speak. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which haply foreknowing may avoid, speak. If thou hast apported in thy life extorted treasures in the womb of earth, for which they say your spirits oft walk in death, speak to me. Speak! Speak, stay, speak! Stop it, Marcellus!
Shall I strike him with my partisan?
Do it, but will not stand! 'Tis here! 'Tis here!
That's gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical to offer the show violence, or as it is as the air, invulnerable and obeying blows malicious mockery.
But look, the dawn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the brow of yon high eastward hill. Break we up our watch, and by my advice let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life, this spirit, done to us, will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it, as needful in our loves, fitting our duty?
Let's do it, I pray, and I this morning know where we shall find it most convenient.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. But so far hath discretion fought with nature that we with wisest sorrow think on him together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we as twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and a dropping eye, with mirth in funeral and dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along, for all our thanks. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane and lose thy voice. What wouldst thou beg, Laertes? That shall not be my offer, not thy asking. The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth. Then is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave and favor to return to France, from whence, though willingly I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation. Now I must confess, that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again toward France, and to bow them to your gracious leave.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave, my laborsome petition, and at last, upon his will, I sealed my heart consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes. Time to thy and thy best graces, spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet and my son.
Little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord, I'm too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
My madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam. Nay, it is, I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath. No, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected behavior of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem for their actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passes show. These but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know your father lost a father, that father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow, but to persever in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding simple and unschooled. For what we know must be, and is as common as any the most vulgar thing to sense. Why should we in our peevish opposition take it to heart? Fire! 'Tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers, and who still hath cried from the first corpse till he that died today, this must be so. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son do I impart toward you. For your intent, in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet, I pray thee. Stay with us, go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you.
Why? 'Tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Now come, this gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart in grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the kings rouse the heaven shall bruit again, respeaking their fleet thunder. Come away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it. Fie, 'tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this, but 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this. Hyperion to a satyr. So loving to my mother, that he might not between the wits of heaven visit her face too roughly. On earth, must I remember why she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month, a little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body like Niobe old tears. Why she, oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I did Hercules. Within a month! Ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left a flushing in her galled eyes, she married. O most wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, or I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I'm glad to see you well. Horatio, or I do forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant, yes.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. And what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Myself.
My good lord.
I'm very glad to see you. Good evening, sir. But what make you from Wittenberg?
A true disposition, my lord.
I would not hear your enemy say so. Nor shall you do mine ear that violence to make a truster of your own report against yourself. I know you are no truant. But what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I prithee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day, Horatio. My father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man, take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw? Who?
The king, your father.
The king, my father?
Season your admiration for a while with an intent ear, till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead waste and middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like your father appears before them, and thrice he appeared before them, and whilst they, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy in part they did, and I the 3rd night with them kept the watch, where, as they had delivered, both in time, form of the thing, each word made true and good, the apparition comes. I know your father. These hands are not more like.
But where was this?
My lord, up on the platform where we watch.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none. Yet once it lifted up its head and did address itself as it would speak, but even then the morning cock crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk away in haste and vanished from our sight.
'Tis very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true. And we did think it writ down in our duty to tell you of it.
Indeed, sirs, but this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight.
We do, my lord.
Armed, say armed.
Armed, my lord.
What looked he? Frowning?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
Fixed his eyes upon you.
Most constantly.
Why would I had been there?
It would have much amazed you,
I like. Stayed it long.
as one with moderate haste might tell 100.
Longer.
Not when I saw it.
His beard was grizzled, no?
It was as I had seen it in his life, a sable silver.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
But assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it. Though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace, I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still. Whatsoever else shall have tonight, if an understanding and no tongue, I will requite your lust. So, fare you well. Upon the platform twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
I'll do it to you all.
Says mine to you. Farewell. Thy father's spirit in arms. All is not well. I doubt some foul play. When the night will come, till then sit still my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
The necessaries are embarked. Very well. And sister, as the winds give benefit and convoy is assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion, a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primary nature. Forward, not permanent. Sweet, not lasting. The perfume and suppliance of a moment, no more.
No more, but some.
Think it no more. For nature, crescent, does not grow alone in thews and bulk, but as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grows wide withal. Perhaps he loves you better. And now no soil nor coddle doth besmirch the virtue of his will. You must fear his greatness sway. His will is not his own. For he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state, whereof he is the head. Then, if he says he loves you, suits your wisdom so far to believe him as he in his particular act and place may give his saying deed, which is no further than the main voice of Denmark goes withal. The way what loss and honor may sustain, if with too prudent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia! Fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire. The chariot's maid is prodigal enough if she unmask her beauty to the moon.
I shall the effect that this good lesson keep us watchmen to my heart. But good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, while as like a captain reckless liberty, himself in Primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long. But here my father comes. Double blessing is a double grace.
Yet here, Laertes? Aboard, for shame! The wind sits at the shoulder of thy sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee, and these few precepts in thy memory look thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought its act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast in their adoption tried, grapple them unto thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new, unhatched, unfledged courage. Beware entrance to a quarrel, but, being in, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thy own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this day.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord. Farewell, Ophelia.
The time invites you. Go, your servants tend.
Remember well what I have said to thee.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is Ophelia he hath sent you?
So please you something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Marry, well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very often late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. If it be so, as so 'tis put on me, and that in way of caution, I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as behooves my daughter and your honor. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? Pooh! You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love and honorable fashion,
Aye, fashion, you may call it. Go to.
and hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springs to catch woodcocks. I do know when the blood burns how prodigal the soul ends the tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, giving more light than heat, extinct in both, even in their promises it is a making. You must not take for fire. From this time, be something scanter of your maiden presence. I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth, have you so slander any moment's leisure as to get words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, and charge you. Come your ways.
Shall obey.
Your bite chewed me. It is very cold.
It is nipping and an eager air.
What hour now?
I think it lasts at 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed, I heard it not. It then draws near the season in which the spirit held is wont to walk. My lord, it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. Be thou a spirit of health, or goblin damned.
bring with thee airs from heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable, thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, King, Father, Royal Dane. Oh, answer me, let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones, hearsed in death, have burst their cerements. Why, the sepulchre, wherein we saw thee quietly interred, hath oped his ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. What may this mean? That thou, dead corpse, again in complete steel, revisitst us the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and we, fools of nature, so horridly to shake our disposition, with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls. Say, why is this? Wherefore? What should we do?
Look where it beckons to you, as if his some impartment did desire to you alone.
Look with a courteous action, he waves you to more removed ground, but do not go with it.
No, by no means.
You will not speak, then I will follow it.
Do not go, my lord.
Why? What should be the fear? I did not sell my life at a pin's fee. For my soul, what can it do to that? Being a thing immortal as itself. Waves me forth again. I'll follow it.
You cannot go, my lord.
Hold off your hands!
Be ruled, my lord, you shall not go!
My fate cries out and makes each petty artery in this body as hardy as the Nemean lion's nerve. Still am I called? Unhand me, gentlemen! By heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that let us be. I say away. Go on. I'll follow thee.
You are desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. Just not the dust obey him.
Have after. To what issue will this come?
There's something rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Okay, let's follow him.
Whither will thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night. And where goes? Day confined to fast in fires, pity me not. Speak, I am bound here. But lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold. It is given out that sleep in my orchard a serpent stung me. So the whole era of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But no, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle!
Aye, that incestuous, that indulgent beast, with witchcraft of his wits, and traitorous gifts of wicked wit and gifts that have a power so to seduce, one to his will, his lust and will of my most seeming virtuous wife. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there for me, whose love was that of dignity, that it went hand in hand, even with the vow I made to her in marriage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief, let me be. Sleeping in my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon. Upon my secure hour, thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed heaven on in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distillment, whose effect hath such enmity with blood of man that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor doth posset and curd like eager droppings, the thin and wholesome blood doth in it mine, and a most instant tetter, barked about, most Lazar-like, with a vile and loathsome crust all my smooth body. Thus was I, by a brother's hand, sleeping, at once dispatched of life, of crown, of queen, cut off even in the blossoms of my sin, unhouselled, disappointed, unhandled, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible, horrible, most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, take not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. Very well at once. The glowworm shows the mountain to be near against the pale of his ineffectual fire. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Remember me.
Oh, you host of heaven! Oh, earth! Why else shall I couple hell? Oh, fire! Hold my heart. and you, my sinews grown on instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee? Aye, thou poor ghost whose memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee! Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all treasures past that youth and observation copied there. And thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven, the most pernicious woman, a villain, villain, smiling, damned villain. My tables will beat it as I set it down, that one may smile and be a villain. At least I am sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word, it is adieu, adieu. Remember me? I have sworn it.
My lord! My lord!
Lord Hamlet!
Heaven secure him!
So be it.
Hello, my lord!
Hello, boy, come!
How is this, my noble lord?
My lord, what news?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord. Tell it.
No, you will reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
No, I, my lord.
Say then, what heart of man once thinketh it to be secret?
I, by heaven.
There's never a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an arrant knave.
There needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this.
Right, you are in the right. And so without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part you as your business and desire shall point you. For every man hath business and desire, such it is, and for my own poor part, I will go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I am sorry they offend you heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
There is no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offense too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost, that let me tell you. If you desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may, and now, good friends as you are, friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request.
Listen, my lord, we will.
Never make known what you've seen tonight.
My lord will not.
Nay, but swear it.
Not I, my lord, in faith.
No, I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my sword.
We have sworn, my lord, already.
Indeed, upon my sword, indeed.
Oh, day and night, this is wondrous strange.
Therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here as before, never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd somehow I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think me to put an antic disposition on, that you at such time seeing me never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase, as, well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or if we list to speak, or there be, and if they might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me, this do swear. So grace and mercy at your most need help you. Swear! Swear! Rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you, and what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do, to express his love and friending to you, God willing, shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still, your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
With what in the name of God?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet on, raised pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so hideous and purport as if he had been loosened out of hell to speak of horrors. He comes before me.
Not for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then he goes to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand o'er his brow thus, falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. On the stake so, and at last a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, as it did seem to shatter all his bulk, and in his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes. For out of doors he went without their helps, to the last, bended their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love. whose violent property foredoes itself and leads the will to desperate undertakings as oft as any passion under heaven that doth afflict our natures. I'm sorry, what? Have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good lord, but as you did command, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not quoted him. I thought he did trifle and meant to rack thee, but beshrew my jealousy. By heaven, it is as proper to our age to cast beyond ourselves in our opinions as it is for the younger sort to lack discretion. Come, go we to the king.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Well, moreover, that we much did long to see you. The need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation, so I call it, that nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was what it should be, more than his father's death that thus have put him so much from the understanding of himself I cannot dream of. I entreat you both that, being of so young days brought up with him, and since so neighbor to his youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean whether aught to us unknown afflicts him, thus that open lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am two men there is not living to whom he more adheres. It will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us a while for the supply and profit of our hope. Your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might by the sovereign power you have of us put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent, to lay our service freely at your feet, to be commanded.
Well, thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz, and I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son.
My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night night, and time is time, were nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness, what is't but to be nothing else but mad? But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true. 'Tis true, 'tis pity, and pity 'tis true. Foolish figure. But farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad, let us grant him then. And now remains that we find out the cause of this effect. Or rather, the cause of this defect. For this effect defective comes by cause. Thus it remains, and the remainder thus. Your pen. I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark, hath given me this. Now, gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia, that's an ill phrase, vile phrase, beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear. Thus, in her excellent wife's bosom, these,
Kingdom from Hamlet to her.
Stay, madam, hold a while, I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. O dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers, I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best. O most best, believe it. Adieu. Thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him, Hamlet. This in obedience hath my daughter shown me, and more above hath his solicitings, as they fell out by time, by means and place, all given to my dear.
But how has she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a man faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so. But what might you think? when I had seen this hot love on the wing, as I perceived it, I must tell you, before my daughter told me. What might you, or my dear Majesty, your queen here, think if I had played the desk or table book, or given my heart a winking mute and dumb, or looked upon this love with an idle sight? What might you think? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress, thus I bid bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star, this must not be. And then I prescripts gave her that she should hide herself from his resort, refuse all messengers, receive no tokens. This done, she took the fruits of my advice, and he rejected, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence to a watch, thence to a weakness, thence into a lightness, and by this declension into the madness wherein now he raves, and all we mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
Maybe.
Very like.
Has there ever been a time, I would fain know that I have positively said 'tis so, when it proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take this from this, if it be otherwise. If circumstances allow, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the center.
How may we try further?
You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby.
He does indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. You and I behind an arras then. Mark the encounter. If he love her not, and be not for his reason fallen thereon, let me be no assistant to a state, but keep a farm and carters.
We will try it.
But look where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Give me leave, please. I'll board him presently. Give me leave. How does my lord Hamlet?
Well, God have mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent. Well, you are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I wish you were so honest, man.
Honest, my lord?
I said, to be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a good kissing carrion, have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but as your daughter may conceive, friend, look to it.
What means he by that? Still on my daughter. Yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He's far gone. And yet, in my youth, I felt much extremity for love very near this. I'll speak with him again. What do you read, my lord? Words. I mean, what is the matter, my lord?
Between whom?
I mean the matter that you read, my lord.
Slander, sir, for the satirical rogue says here that old men have great beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hands. All which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. For yourself, sir, shall grow old as I am, if like a crab could go backward.
Though this be madness, yet there's method in it. My lord, I will take my leave of you.
You cannot take from me anything that I will not more willingly part withal, except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare you well, my lord. You, don't see the Lord Hamlet. There he is.
God save you, sir.
My honored lord.
My most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou Guildenstern? Rosencrantz, good lads, how do you go?
Ah, as the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we're not over happy. Unfortunate's cat, we're not at the very bottom.
Nor with the soles of her shoe.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist or in the middle of her favors?
No, say her private.
Oh, most true, she is a strumpet. What news?
None, my lord, but the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near, but your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison?
Prison, my lord?
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
Yeah, a goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Why then 'tis none to you? For there's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me it is a prison. But In the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
Humble as I am in thanks, I thank you. But sure, my friends, my thanks are due to your halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, they speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Anything but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there's a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties had not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship, by the consonancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved friendship, and by what more dear a better proposal can charge you withal. Be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no.
What say you?
Nay, then I have an eye of you. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises. And indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire. Why, it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. Nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Well, why did you laugh then, when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We counted them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
He that plays the king shall be welcome, his majesty shall have tribute of me, and the lady shall say her mind freely, or the blank verse will hold for it. What players are you?
Even those you may want to take such delight in, the tragedians of the city.
There are the players.
Gentlemen, come, your hands. The impertinence of welcome is fashion and ceremony. Let me comply with you in this garb, lest my extent to the players, which I tell you must show fairly outwards, should more appear like entertainment than yours. You are welcome. But my uncle, father, and aunt mother are deceived.
What, my lord?
I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Well be with you, gentlemen.
I will prophesy. He comes to tell me of the players' party. You say right, sir. Monday morning. Was that indeed?
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, the actors have arrived. The best actors in the world. I have tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, pastoral comical, historical pastoral, tragical historical, tragical comical historical pastoral, scene individable, and poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too light, nor plot is too heavy. For the law of writ and the liberty, these are the only men.
Oh, Jephthah, what a treasure thou!
What treasure have you, my lord?
Why, one fair daughter, and no more, the which ye love in passing well.
Still on my daughter.
The first row of the players, yes, and we'll show you more from look. My abridgment comes. You're welcome, masters. Welcome, good friends. Oh, old friend, why thy face is balanced since I saw thee last. Come as thou to beard me in Denmark. My young lady and mistress. We'll lean to it like French talkers. Fly at anything we see. We'll have a speech. Straight, come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech. What speech, my good lord? I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted. Or if it was, thought but once. For the play, I remember, please not the million, 'twas caviar to the general, but it was, as I received it, an excellent play, well digested in the season. One speech in it, I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to Dido, and thereabout of it, especially when he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, you get it this time. Let me see, let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Hyrcanian beast. Yeah, it is not so. It begins with Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms Black as his purpose did the night resemble, when he lay couched in the ominous horse. Hath now this dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal. Head to foot now as he total gules, horridly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, with eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam, cease. So proceed you.
On my lord, well spoken, and with good accent and good discretion.
Anon he finds him, striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his hand, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. An equal match, Pyrrhus and Priam drives, in rage strikes wide, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. Then senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top, stoops to his base, and takes prisoner Pyrrhus dear. For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. Aroused vengeance sets him to a work, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars, or report from overturn, with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam!
Out, thou scrub and fortune!
Oh, now this is too long.
And shout to the barbers with your beard. Prithee, say on. He's for a jig or a tail of Audrey, or he sleeps. Say on. Come to heck.
But who? Woe, I've seen the marbled queen.
Marbled queen?
That's good.
Run barefoot up and down, threatening flames to the distant room. A cloud upon that head where lays the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and all overstained the loins, a blanket in the alarm of fear caught up. Who is that seen, with a tongue in venomous dipped, gauged the fortune the stage where the treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves do see her then, where she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband the limbs, that is does the burst of clamor that she made. Unless things mortal moved them not at all, would have made amidst the burning eyes of heaven and passion in the gods.
Look where her face is turned color, and she tears in her eyes. Prithee, no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest of this soon. Good my lord, when you see the players well bestowed, do you hear it? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you were better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you lived.
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
God's bodkin, man, much better. Use every man according to his desert, and who shall escape whipping. Use them according to your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, my friend? Can you play The Murder of Gonzago?
I know.
Tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert in it. Could you not? I will. Very well. Follow that, Lord. And thank you. Mocking not. My good friends, I'll leave you tonight. You are welcome to Elsie.
Good, my lord.
Aye. So, bye-bye to you. Now I am alone. Oh, a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force her soul so to her own conceit, that from her working all her visage wan, tears in her eyes, distraction in her aspect, a broken voice, and her whole function suiting with forms to her conceit? And all for nothing! For Hecuba! What's Hecuba to her that she should weep for her? What would she do had she the motive and the cue for passion that I have? She would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and money-meddled rascal, peep like John a Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can't say nothing, no, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my paid across? Soon as I should take it, for it cannot be that I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this I should have fattered all the reeking kites with this slave's awful bloody body villain! Remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain! Why, What an ass am I! This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, must like a whore unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion diabolic foe about my brains. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll take him to the quick. If he do blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you, by no drift of conference, get from him why he puts on this confusing greeting so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof, and we bring him unto some confession of his true state.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Niggard of question, but of our demands most free in his reply.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madame, it so fell out that certain players we o'erwrought on the way, of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They're here about the court, and as I think, they have already ordered this knight to play before him.
'Tis most true, and he did beseech me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge, and drive his purpose on to these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he is tore by accident here of Ophelia. Her father and myself will so bestow ourselves that seeing, unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge and gather by him as he is behaved, if be the affliction of his love, or know that thus he suffers for it.
I shall obey you. For your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again, to both your honors.
Madam, I wish to pay.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book that shows such an exercise may color your loneliness. We are oft to blame in this. It is too much proved that with devotion's visage and pious action we do sure o'er the devil himself.
Oh, 'tis too true. A smart and rational speech to give conscience. The harlot's cheek, plaster is not more ugly to the thing that helps it than is my deed to my most painted word, though heavy burdened.
I hear him coming, my lord. Let's withdraw.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of disprized love? the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietest make with a bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with this pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment. With this regard, the currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Softer now, the fair Ophelia. Nymph, and thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well?
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I've longed to be delivered. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
Honored lord, you know right well you did. With the words of so sweet breath proposed has made the things more rich. Their perfume lost is again, which the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord. Made you believe so.
You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things, that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between earth and heaven? We are arrant knaves all, believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell!
How could you, sweet heavens?
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague, for thy dowry be out as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery. Farewell. Or if thou will needs marry, marry a fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery go, and quickly too. Farewell.
How's your story?
I have heard of your paintings well enough. God hath given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You jig, and you amble, and you lisp. You nickname God's creatures, and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to! I'll no more, and it hath made me mad. I say, we will have no more marriage. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are, to a nunnery. Go!
The noble mind is here overthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword. The expectancy arose in the fair state. The gods of fashion, the mold of form, the observed, all observers, quite deaf. Dieth ladies, most dejected wretched, that suck the honey of his music thou'st now see, the noble, most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh, unmatched nature, flung you, lost in the ecstasy. Oh, woe is thee, to have seen what I have seen, see what I see.
Mom, his affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul, or which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, which for to prevent, I have a quick determination thus set it down. He shall speed to England for the demand of our neglected tribute. Haply the seas and countries different, with the variable object shall expel this something settled matter in his heart, whereon his brains still beating puts him thus from fashion of himself. What think you want?
It shall do well, but yet I do believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please. But if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother, all alone, entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, then to England send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness and great ones must not unwatched go.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many players do, I have as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Look, do not saw the air, to look at your hand across me. Use all gently. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance, that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is to hold, as twere the mirror up to nature, show virtue her feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time, his form and pressure. Oh, there be players that I have seen play, and heard others praise, that have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men, and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably. Well, I hope we haven't formed that differently with us. Don't make you ready. Horatio, thou art in as just a man as e'er my conversation will.
Oh, my dear lord.
No, nay, do not think I flatter. Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice, and could of men distinguish her election, she has sealed thee for herself. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core. I in my heart of heart, as I do thee. Something too much of this. You're in the play tonight before the king. Once the scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee of my father's death, even with a very comment of thy soul, observe my uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen. And my imaginations are as foul as Vulcan's ditty. Give him heedful note, for mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after we will both our judgments join in censure of his secret.
Well, my lord, if he do steal aught whilst the play is playing and escape detecting, I myself will pay the theft.
They're coming to the play. I must be idle.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent, faith of the chameleon's dish. I eat the air, promise crammed. You cannot feed cake on so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine now. My lord, you played once in the university, you say.
That did I, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
It was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord, they stay upon your patience.
Come hither, my dear Hamlet, sit by me.
No, good mother, here's metal more attractive.
Oh, do you see that either?
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean, my head upon your lap.
I, my lord.
Do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
Oh, that's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs.
What is my lord?
Nothing.
You are married, my lord.
Who, I?
I, my lord.
Oh, God, you're only jeep maker. What should a man do but be married? For look you, how cheerfully my mother looks. My father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my
Oh,
lord.
so long? Nay, then let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heavens, died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet. Then there's hope of great man's
memory may not live his life half a year, but, Our Lady, he must build churches then, or else shall he suffer not thinking on with the hobby horse, whose epitaph is for oh, the hobby horse is forgot.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is this a prologue of the Posy of Meridian?
It's brief, my lord.
As woman's love?
Full 30 years hath Phoebus' cart gone round, Neptune's salt wash, and Tellus orbit round. Since love, our hands and Hymen did unite in most sacred dance.
So many journeys made the sun and the moon make us again count over our love be done. But woe is me. You are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state that I distrust you. Yet, now I distrust, discomfort you, my lord, in what we must.
Faith, I must leave thee, and shortly too. My operant powers their functions leave to do. And thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and happily what is kind, for husband shalt thou.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs retreat in my breast. In second husband, let me be accursed. Nor would the second buffalo kill the first.
That's wormwood.
The instances the second marriage move are base respect of thrift, but none of love. The second time I kill my husband dead when second husband kisses me in bed.
I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine oft we break. The purpose is but the slave to memory of violent birth, but poor validity, which now the fruit unripe sticks on the tree, but fall unshaken when they mellow be. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Nor earth to me give food, nor heaven light, sport and repose walk from me day and night. To desperation turn my trust and hope, thy anchor the cheering prison be my scope. Each offers and her once the face of joy, meet what I would have wrought and I destroy, both here and hence. Pursue me lasting strength, if once a widow, ever I be a wife.
If she should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn. Fain, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep rock thy brain, and there never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, I like you this play.
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Oh, and she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in't?
No, they do but jest. Poison in jest, no offense in the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. Mary, how tropically. This play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the Duke's name, his wife Baptista. You shall see anon. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Your Majesty, and we that have free souls, it touches us not. Let the gall and jadements, our withers are unwrung. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You're his goodness, of course, my lord.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing. Confederate season, else no creature seeing. Now mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, on Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and wholesome property on wholesome life usurps immediately.
He poisoned him in the garden for his estate. His name's Gonzago. The story is extant and written in very choice Italian. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises. There's my lord.
Give on the play!
Give me some light! Away!
Lights! Lights! Lights!
Oh, at the circuit near the wait the heart and knowledge play. For some must watch while some must sleep. Thus runs the world away. Would not this, sir, and a force of feathers, if the rest of my fortunes turn Turk with me. Get me a fellowship and a cry of players, sir.
I have a share.
Oh, the whole one, aye? Good Horatio. I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000. Tis received.
Aye, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poison.
I very well note, my lord.
Aha! Come, some music! Come, the recorders! First the king light up the comedy. Why didn't he likes it not pretty. Come, some music!
Good my lord, I'll say a word with you.
Aye, a whole history.
The king, sir,
Aye, what of him?
is in his retirement. Marvelous distemper.
With drink, sir.
No, sir, with collar.
Your wisdom should show itself more richer to signify this to the doctor. For me, to put him to his purgation would perhaps plunge him into more choler.
Good my lord, put your discourse into some frame and start not so wildly for my affair.
I am tamed, sir. Pronounce.
The queen, sir, your mother, in a most great affliction of spirit, has sent me to you.
You're welcome.
Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please make me an wholesome answer, I shall do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sir, I cannot
What, my lord?
make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased. But, sir, such answer as I can make, you shall command. Or rather, as you say, my mother. Therefore, no more, but to the matter of my mother, you said.
Then thus she says, your behavior has struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother! Is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration?
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
And do still, by these pickers and stealers?
Good my lord, what is the cause of your distemper? You surely bar the door against your own liberty when you deny your griefs to your friend.
Aye, sir, I lack advancement.
How can that be when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, sir, but while the grass grows, the proverb is something must see out the recorder. Let me see. To withdraw with you. Why do you go about to recover the wind of me as if you would drive me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play on this pipe?
I do not know it, my lord. Believe me, I do not.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it.
It is as easy as lying. Govern these vantages with your fingers and thumb, give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look, you, these are the stops.
These cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill. Why?
Look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my misery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there's much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak. What, do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will. Though you fret me, you cannot play upon me. God bless you, sir.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see yonder cloud, this almost in shape of a camel?
By the mass, 'tis like a camel indeed.
Methinks it is like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Very like a whale.
Then I will come to my mother by and by. They fooled me to the top of my bent. I will come by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. It is now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Soft, now to my mother. O heart, lose not thy nature. Let not ever the soul of Nero enter this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. How in my words somever she be shed. To give them seals, never my soul consent.
I like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore prepare you. On your commission shall forthwith dispatch, and he to England shall along with you. The terms of our estate may not endure half-fools, so near us as doth hourly grow out of his brows.
We will ourselves prepare. Most holy and religious fear it is to keep many bodies safe that live and feed upon your majesty.
Arm you, I pray you, to this free voyage, for we will fetters put about this fear, which now goes too free-footed.
We will haste us.
My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras, I'll convey myself to hear the process. How Lord shall tax him in. And as you said, and rightly was it said, 'tis meet that some more audience than a mother, since nature makes them partial, should o'erhear the speech of vantage. Farewell, my liege. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed and tell you what I know.
Thanks to you, my lord. Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it, a brother's murder. Pray can I not? Though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin, and both those But if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood, is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of offense? And what's in prayer but this twofold force to be forestallen ere we come to fall, or pardon to being down? Then I'll look up. My fault is past. But, oh, what form of prayer can serve my term? Forgive me my foul murder. That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. I would be pardoned and obtain offense. The corrupted currents of this world, offenses gilded handily shoved by justice, and oft is seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. 'Tis not so above. There's no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled even to the teeth and forehead of our false to hidden evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can, what can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? Oh, wretched state! Oh, bosom black as death! Oh, limed soul that's struggling to be free are more engaged! Help! Angels! Make us say. Bow, stubborn knees, and heart, strings of steel, be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
How might I do it, Pat? Now he's a-praying. And now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven. And so am I revenged? That would be scant. A villain kills my father, and for that, I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven? Why, this is hire and salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown as flush as May. And how his audit stands, who knows, save heaven? But in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him. And am I then revenged? To take him in the purging of his soul, when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No, absurd, and know thou a more horrid hint, when he is drunk, asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at game, a swearing, or about some act that hath no relish of salvation in it. Then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell, whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
He will come straight. Look you, lay home to him. Tell him his pranks are too broad to bear with, and your grace hath screened and stood between much heat and him. I'll silence me even here. Pray, be round.
I warrant you, fear me not.
Mother!
Draw, I hear him coming.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No, by the rood, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those to you that can speak.
Come and sit you down. You shall not budge. You shall not, till I set you up a glass, where you may see the innermost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me! Help!
What help? Help! A rat! Oh! You're dead!
Oh! I am slain!
What hast thou done?
I know not. Is it the king?
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this!
A bloody deed. Almost
almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
Kill a king?
My lady, it was my word. Where's your rash, intruding fool? Farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune. Thou find'st to be too busy is some danger. Leave wringing of your hands. Peace, sit you down, and let me wring your heart, for so I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff, if damned custom have not braced it so that it be proof and bulwark against sense.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue and noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love and sets a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dicers' oaths. Oh, such a deed as from the body of contraction plucks the very soul, and sweet religion makes a rhapsody of words. Heaven's face does glow over this solidity and compound mass with tristral visage, as against the doom is thought sick in the act.
I mean, what act? That roars so loud and thunders in the index.
Look here, upon this picture and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See why the grace was seated on this brow. Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars to threaten and command. A culmination and a form indeed, where every god did seem to set his seal, to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Now, what follows? Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you on this fair mountain leave the feet and patten on this moor? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age the heyday in the blood is tame. It's humble and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? What devil was it that the cousin you would have been blind? Oh, shame, where is thy blush? Rebellious hell, if thou canst mutiny in a matron's bones, to flaming youth let virtue be as wax, and melt in her own fire. Proclaim no shame when the compulsive order gives the charge, since frost itself as actively doth burn, and reason panders will.
Oh, Hamlet, speak no more! Thou turns my eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grained spots as will not leave their cheeks.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty side.
Give me no more! Where's our daggers that you have you? No more!
A murderer and a villain, a slave, this is our 20th worth, the type of your preceding lord, a vice of kings, a caprice of the empire and the rule that from himself the present item stole and put it in his pocket, a king of shreds and patches. Save me, and hover over me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What was your gracious figure?
Alas, he's mad!
Do you not come, your tardy son to chide? The lapse in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command. Oh, say,
Do not forget, this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Conceit in weakest body, strongest works. Speak to her, Hamlet.
how is it with you, lady?
Alas! How is it with you? Did you bend your eye and fantasy with the purple animal discourse? Was it your eyes or spirits wildly peep, and like the sleeping soldiers in the alarm, your bedded hairs like black excrement start up and stand on Oh, gentle son, when the heat and flame of thy distemper sprinkle cold patience, whereon do you look?
On him! On him! Look you how pale he glares! His form and cause conjoined, preaching the stones would make them capable. Do not look upon me! As with this piteous action you convert my stern effects, then what I have to do will want true color, tears perchance for blood.
To whom do you speak this?
You see nothing there,
In all that is I see.
nor did you nothing hear!
No, nothing but ourselves.
Why, look looky there! Look how it steals away! My father in his heaven as he lived! Look where he goes, even now out of the portal!
This is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation of ecstasy is very cunning.
My pulse as yours doth temperately keep time, and makes as helpful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Bring me to the test, and I the matter will reword, which madness would gamble from. Mother, for love of grace, sling not that flattering unction to your soul that not your trespass but my madness speaks. It will but skin and film the ulcerous place, whilst rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven. Repent what's past. Avoid what is to come. And do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them riper.
Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Good night. But go not to my uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. Once more, good night. And when you are desirous to be blessed, a blessing beg of you. For this same Lord, I do repent. But heaven hath pleased it so to punish me with this and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. So again, good night. I must be cruel, only to be kind. This bad begins, and worse remains behind.
What shall I do?
This by no means that I bid you do. Let the blunt king tempt you again to bed. Pins wanted on your cheek call you his mouse, and let him, for a pair of reachy kisses, make you to ravel all this matter out. That I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft.
Be thou assured, words be made of breath and breath of life. I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
You must to England. You know that?
Alack, I had forgot.
The letter's sealed. And my two schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders fanged, they bear the mandate. They must sweep my way. This man shall set me packing. I'll let the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night indeed. This counselor is now most still, most secret, and most brave, who was in life a foolish prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
What's the matter with these signs? These profound heaves you must translate to spare we understand them. Where's your son?
Oh, my own Lord, what have I seen tonight?
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad is the sea and the wind, but both contend which is the mightier. In his lawless fit, behind the arrows hearing something stir, whips out his right ear, cries a rat, and in his bravish apprehension kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy deed! It had been so with us had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all, to you yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how shall this bloody deed be answered? It will be laid to us, whose providence should have kept short, restrained, and out of haunt this mad young man. But so much was our love, we would not understand what was most fit. But like the owner of a foul disease, to keep it from divulging, let it feed, even on the pith of life. Where is he gone?
Draw apart the body he hath killed, for whom this very madness, like some ore among a mineral of metal's base, shows itself pure. He weeps for what is done.
I'll Gertrude come away. The sun, no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will ship him hence. And this vile deed, we must with all our majesty and skill, both countenance and excuse. Ho, Guildenstern! Friends both, go join you with some further aid. Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you hasten this. Come, Gertrude. We'll call up our wisest friends and let them know both what we need to do and what's untimely done. Oh, come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay.
Bestow? What have you done, my lord, with the dead body?
Pounded it. Thus, versus his kin.
Tell us where 'tis, that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
Do not believe it.
Believe what?
That I can keep your counsel and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge, what replication should be made by the son of a king?
Take you me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, sir, that soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities. But such officers do the king best service in the end. He keeps them like an ape in the corner of his jaw, first mouthed to be last swallowed. When he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you, and sponge, you shall be dry again.
I understand you not, my lord.
I'm glad of it. A knavish speech sleeps in a foolish ear.
My lord, you must tell us where the body is and go with us to the king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing,
my lord.
Of nothing. Bring me to him.
I have sent to seek him and to find the body. How dangerous is it that this man goes loose? Yet must not we put the strong law on him. He's loved of the distracted multitude who like not in their judgment, but their eyes. And where to sow? The offender's scourge is never weighed, but only the offense. They're all smooth and even. This sudden sending him away must seem deliberate pause. This desperate girl, by desperate appliance, or relieved or not at all. How now, what's befallen?
Where the body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him.
But where is he?
Oh, without, my lord, guard it, to know your pleasure.
Bring him before us!
Oh, bring in the lord.
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper?
Oh, at supper. Where?
Not where he eats, but where he's eaten. A certain convocation of worms are eaten at him. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. You fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar is but variable service. 2 dishes, but to 1 table. That's the end.
Alas, alas.
A man may fish with the worm that had eat of a king, and eat of that fish that had fed of that worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing, but to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven! Send thither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But if you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as you go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He will stay till you come.
Hamlet, this deed, for thine especial safety, which we do tender as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is ready, and the winged help, the associates 10, and everything is bent for England.
For England.
Aye, Hamlet?
Good.
So is it. Thou knewest our purposes.
I see a cherub that sees them. But come, for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Follow him at foot. Tempt him with speed, Lord. Delay it not, I'll have him hence tonight. Away! For everything is sealed and done that else leans on the fair. Pray you make haste! And England, if my love thou bear it holds at aught, as my great power thereof may give thee sense, since yet thy sickness looks raw and red after the Danish sword, and thy free awe pays homage to us, thou mayst not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports it full by letters congruent to that effect, the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England! Like the hectic in my bloody rages, that thou must cure me. Till I know 'tis done, howe'er my acts, my joys will ne'er be gone.
Not speak with her.
Were good she were spoken with. She makes true dangerous conjectures, ill-breeding minds.
Let her come in. sick soul as sin's true nature is, which twice seems prologue to some great amiss. Full of artless jealousy is guilt, it spills itself in fearing to be spilt.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
How should I, your true love, know from another one? By his cockle, hat, and staff, and his sandal shoe left.
Sweet lady, what imports this song?
Say you, nay, pray you mark. He is dead and gone, lady, he is dead and gone.
Ophelia!
Pray you mark. White his shroud as the mountain snow, larded with sweet flowers.
Alas,
Which
look here,
carry
my lord.
one to the grave.
How do you, pretty lady?
Good deal, do you? They say Al was the baker's daughter. Lord, you know what we are. You know not what we may be. God, at your table.
Conceit upon her father.
Pray you, let's have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning betime, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose, and doffed his clothes, and ducked the chamber door. Let in the maid, the out of maid, never departed more.
Pretty Ophelia.
Without a note, put an end on it. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. He answers, so what I have done by yonder son, if thou hast not come to my bed.
How long has she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient. But I cannot choose but wait to think that they would lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it. And so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Follow her close. Give her good watch, I pray you. Oh, this is poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death. Oh, Gertrude, Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not sink spies, but in battalions. First her father slain, next your son gone, and he most violent author of his own just remove. The people muddied, thick and unwholesome in their thoughts and whispers for good Polonius' death. And we have done but greenly in hugger-mugger to inter him. Poor Ophelia, divided from herself and her fair judgment, without the which we are pictures or mere beasts. Last, and as much containing as all these, her brother is in secret come from France, feeds on this wonder, keeps himself in clouds, and wants not buzzers to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his father's death, wherein necessity of mad or beggar will nothing stick our person to arraign in ear and ear. Oh, my dear Gertrude, this like to a murdering peace in many places gives me superfluous death. Save yourself, my lord! The ocean, overcuring of Celesta, eats not the flats with more impetuous haste than young Laertes in the Russia's head overbears the officers. The rabble call him lord, and as the world are now about to begin, antiquity forgot, custom not knowing, ratify written the props of every ward, they cry, choose we, Laertes shall be king. Caps, hands, swords applauding to the clouds, Laertes shall be king, Laertes king. Cheerfully on the false trail they cry. Though this is counter, you false Danish dog!
O thou vile king! Give me my father!
Call me the Laertes.
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard. Cries Cuckold to my father, brands the harlot even here between the chaste and virgin brow of my true mother.
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude. Do not fear our person.
Where is my father?
Dead, but not by him. Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell allegiance, vows to the blackest devil, conscience and grace the profoundest pit. I dare damnation. To this point I stand that both the worlds I give to negligence. Let come what comes, only I will be revenged most thoroughly for my father.
Who shall stay you?
My will, not all the world's. And for my means I'll husband them so well they shall go far.
Good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your dear father, is to writ in your revenge the swoop stake
You will draw both friend and foe, winner and loser.
None but his enemies.
Will you know them then?
It is good friends, thus wide I my arms, and like the kind life-rendering pelican repast him with my blood.
I now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman. That I am guiltless of your father's death, and am most sensibly in grief for it. It shall as level to your judgment appear as day does to your eye.
Oh, ye dry up my brains. Tears 7 times salt burn up the sense and virtue of mine eye. And my magnets shall be pegged with weight till our scale turn to beam, O rose of May. Dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. Oh heavens, is possible a young maid's wit should be as mortal as an old man's life? It's not my wits, it's persuade revenge. You could not move thus.
You must sing a downer, and you call him a downer. How the wheel becomes it was a false steward that stole his master's daughter.
Nothing's more than matter.
There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray you, love, remember? There's pansies. That's for thoughts.
Document in madness. Thoughts and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you. And columbines. There's root for you. Here's some for me. And they call herb grace the Sundays. You must wear your root with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end.
Fawn and affliction, passion, hell itself she turns to favor and to prettiness.
If by direct or by collateral hand they find us touched, we will our kingdom give, our crown, our life, all that we call ours to you in satisfaction. But if not, be you content to lend your patience to us, and we shall jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy, sword, nor hatchment, or his bones, no noble right, nor formal ostentation, cried to be heard, as though from heaven to earth, that I must call it in question.
So you shall, and where the fence is, let the great axe fall. I pray you go with me.
God bless you, sir.
Let him bless you too.
He shall, sir, and it please him. There's a letter for you, sir. It came from the ambassador that was bound for England. If your name be Horatio, as I'm led to know it is.
Horatio, when thou shalt have overlooked this, give these fellows some means to the king. They have letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate of very warlike appointment gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple I boarded them. On the instant I got clear of their ships, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew what they did. I am to do a turn for them. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak in thine ear would make thee dumb. Yet are they much too light for the bore of the matter. These good fellows will bring me where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell, he thou knowest thine, Hamlet. Come, I will give you way for these your letters, and do it the speedier, that you may bring me to him from whom you brought them.
Now, Mr. Conscience, I quit and seal, and you must put me in your heart for friends that you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that he which hath your noble father slain pursued my life.
So have I a noble father lost, and a sister driven into desperate turns, whose worth of praises may go back against the challenger amount of all the age for her perfections. My revenge will come.
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. This to your majesty, and this to the queen.
From Hamlet? Who brought them?
Sailors, my lord, they say. I saw them not.
Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first asking your pardon, thereunto recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return, Hamlet. If he be now returned, as checking at his voyage, and that he mean no more to undertake it, I will work him to an exploit, now ripe in my device, under the which he shall not choose but fall. And for his death, no wind of blame shall breathe, but even his mother shall uncharge the practice and call it accident. Some 2 months since here was a gentleman of Normandy. He made a confession of you, and gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defense that he cried out, "Oh, 'twould be a sight indeed if one could match you." But to the quick and the else, what would you undertake to show yourself in deeds, your father's son, more than in words?
Cut his throat in the church.
No blessed deed should murder sexualize. Revenge should have no past. Good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chamber. Hamlet return shall know you are come home. We'll put on those shall praise your excellence, and set a double varnish on the fame the Frenchman gave you, bring you in fine together, and wager on your heads. He, being remiss, most generous, and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease, or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a passive practice requite him for your father.
I will do it. And for that purpose I'll anoint my soul. One unction of a mountebank, so mortal that, but did the knife where it draws blood, no cataplasm so rare, collected from all simples that a virtue under the moon can save the thing from death. This is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think of this. Weigh which convenience both of time and means may fit us to our shape. If this should fail, and that our drift look through our bad performance to our better not assayed, therefore this project should have it back, or second that my hold of this did last proof. Soft, let me see. Make a solemn wager on your cunnings. A hat! When in your motion you are hot and dry, as make your bouts more violent to that end. And that he calls for drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce, whereon but sipping, if he by chance escape your minister, our purpose may hold there. How now, sweet queen?
Woe that's tread upon another's heels, so fast they follow. Your sisters drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? But where?
Primrose at Stanton Brook. Shows its hoar leaves in the glassy stream. With fantastic garlands did she make crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples. There on the pendant boughs, the crowned weeds clamored to hang, an envious sliver broke. Down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Clothes spread wide and mermaid-like and wild, they bore her up. Each time she chanted snatches of old lauds, one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be, like the garments, heavy with their drink, old the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned.
Drowned. Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears. Yet it is our drink. Nature her custom holds, let shame say what it will. When these are gone, the woman will be out. I, the screeching fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly drowns it.
Let's follow Gertrude. Much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this shall give it start again. Therefore let's follow.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial when she willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is. Therefore make her grave straight. The crowner hath sat on her and finds it Christian burial.
How can it be? And she drowned herself in her own defense.
Will ya have the truth, ain't? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out of Christian burial.
Well, there thou sayest. And the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves more than they're even Christian. Come, my stay. There's no ancient gentlemen but gardeners, ditchers, and grave makers. They hold up that as profession.
Was he a gentleman?
Why, it was the first that ever bore ours.
Why, he had none.
But they're heathen. How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says Adam digged. Could he dig without ours?
Oh,
I'll put another question to thee. If their answers may not on the purpose,
go to.
what is he that builds stronger than the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker. For that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
Oh, in good faith. I like their wits in good faith. The gallows does well, but how does it well? It does well to those that do ill. And now it's to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Or no, the gallows may do well to thee.
No!
Yeah, to the end, come.
Who builds stronger than the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
Aye, tell me that and then yoke.
Mary, now I can tell.
Do it.
Mass, I cannot tell.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it.
Oh.
But when you are asked this question next, say, a grave maker. The houses he builds last till doomsday.
No!
Go, get into yon. Fetch me a stoup of liquor. In youth, when I did love, we thought it was very sweet. To contract all the time for him I behold. Oh, we have was nothing I mean.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business? He sings in grave making.
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
'Tis e'en so. The hand of little employment had the daintiest sense.
But age with his stealing steps hath got me in his clutch, and shook me off into the land as if I never been
School had a tongue in it and could sing once. How the knave jowls it to the ground as if 'twere Cain's jawbone that did the first murder. I will speak to this fellow.
Whose grave's this, sir? Oh, mitre. A bit of clay for to be made.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
Oh, you lie out on, sir, therefore 'tis not yours. For my part, I do not lie in it, yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it to be in it and say 'tis thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again from me to you.
What man is to be buried in?
For no man, sir.
What woman then?
For neither.
Who is to be buried?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her, God rest her, so she's dead.
Absolute the navis. We must speak by the cord, or equivocation will undo us. How long hast thou been grave maker?
All the days of the year I came to it, the day our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that?
I can tell that. Every fool can tell that. It was the day young Hamlet was born. He that is mad and sent to England.
Aye, marry, why was he sent into England?
Why, because he was mad. He should recover his wits then. Or if you do not, well, 'tis no great matter that.
Why?
will not be seen him there. There, the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Well, very strangely, they say.
How strange.
Faith, he'll loosen his wits.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark. I have been sexton here, man and boy, some 30 years.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
Faith, if he be not dead, ere he laid the lion in, and as we have many pocky corpses nowadays that scarce hold the in, and he will last you some 8 or 9 years. Rather, a tanner will last you 9 years.
Well, why he more than another?
Well, sir, its hide is so tanned with the strayed, it will keep out water, a great water. And your water is a sword of air of your hearts and dead flesh. Here's a skull now, hath lying in the air some 23 years.
What was it?
Oh, a horse and that fellow it was. Whose do you think it was?
Hey, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flag and a reddish on me at once. This same skull, sir, is Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
Yes.
You not?
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, the most excellent fancy. He hath bore me on his back 1,000 times, and now, how abhorrent it is, and my gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I kissed, I know not how often. Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning? My chopfallen, I'll get you to my lady's chamber and tell her that to paint an inch thick to this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that. Really, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Does thou think Alexander looked to this fashion in the earth?
E'en so?
And smokesome? Oh,
E'en so, my lord.
The soft one. Here comes the king. Lean courtiers? Who is this they follow?
no such maimed rice. This stuff betokened the corpse they followed did with desperate hand for doing own life. 'Twas of some estate. Couch wait a while.
What ceremony else?
Laertes, a very noble youth.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful, and but the great power o'ersways the order she should in ground unsanctified be lodged to the last trumpet. Charitable prayers, shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown on her, and yet, here, she is allowed her virgin rites, her maid instruments, and the bringing home of bell and burial.
Is there no more be done?
No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem in such rest to her as the peace-parted soul.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted corpse may violence spring. Tell me, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest hallowed.
The fair Ophelia.
Sweets to the sweet. Farewell. Hoped thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. Thought thy bride bed too had death, sweet maid, and not have strewed thy grave.
Oh, treble woe. Fall 10 times treble on that cursed head whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Melt through your dust upon both quick and dead, till of this flight a mountain you have made, to our top old Pelion, or the skyish head of blue Olympus.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? Whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet, the day!
The devil take thy soul!
It's not well. I pray thee, take thy fingers from my throat, for though I am not splendid and rash, yet have I in me something dangerous. Let thy wisdom fear hold off your hands.
Pluck them asunder.
Hamlet!
Good my lord, be quiet!
When I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids will no longer wag.
Oh, my son, what thee?
I loved Ophelia! 40,000 brothers could not with all their quantity of love make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
He is mad, Laertes.
Son of God, forbear him.
Zeus, show me what thou do. Would weep, would fight, would fast, would tear thyself, would drink up idol, eat a crocodile. I'll do it! Dost come here to whine. Thou thinks me leaping in her grave. Be buried quick with her, and so will I. And if thou pray doth mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us. till our ground, singeing his paint against the burning zone, make also like a wart. Man, outmouth, I'll rant as well as thou.
Mere madness, and thus a while the fit will work on him. Anon, as patient as the female devil that her golden couplets are disclosed, his silence will sit drooping.
Hear you, sir. What is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
Wait a moment. Strengthen your patience in our last speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Gertrude, set some watch over your son. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet shortly shall we see. Till then, in patience, our proceeding be.
There's a divinity that shapes our ends, rough hew them how we will.
That is most certain.
I'm from my cabin. My sea gown was scarfed about me, in the dark, rope tied to find out them. At my desire, fingered their packet, and in fine withdrew to mine own room again. Making so bold, my fears forgetting manners, to unseal the Grand Commission, where I found Horatio. Royal knavery, an exact command, guarded with many several sorts of reasons, importing Denmark's health and England's too, with hosts and bugs and goblins in my life, that on the supervised, no leisure painted, no, not to say the grinding of the axe, my head should be struck off.
Is possible?
Here's the commission. Read it at more leisure, but wilt thou hear now how I did proceed?
I beseech you.
Being thus netted round the villainies, ere I could get a prologue to my praise, they had begun to play. I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair, an earnest conjuration from the king, as England was his faithful tributary, as love between them like a palm might flourish, that on the view and knowing of these contents, without debatement further, more or less, he should those bearers put to sudden death, not shriving time allowed.
But how is this sealed up?
Why, even in that was heaven ordinate. I had my father's signet in my purse, which was the model of that Danish seal. Folded the writ up in the form of the other, subscribed it, gave it the impression, placed it safely, the changeling never known. Now, the next day was our sea fight, and what to this was sequent thou knowest already.
Did Guildenstern and Rosencrantz go to it?
My men, they did make love to this employment. They are not near my conscience. Their defeat does by their own insinuation grow. But I am very sorry, good Horatio, that to Laertes I forgot myself. For by the image of my cause I see the portraiture of his. I'll court his favors, but sure the bravery of his grief did put me into a towering passion.
Peace! Who comes here?
Your lordship is right. Welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir. Dost know this waterfly?
No, my lord.
Thy state is the more gracious, for 'tis a vice to know her. She hath much land and fertile. 'Tis a chuff, but as I say, spacious in the possession of dirt.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
I will receive it, sir, with all diligence of spirit. Your bonnet to his right use is for the head.
I thank my lordship. It is very hot.
No, believe me, 'tis very cold. The wind is northerly.
It is indifferently cold, my lord, indeed.
But yet methinks it is very sultry and hot for my complexion.
Exceedingly, my lord. It is very sultry, as it were. I cannot tell how. Sir, his lordship made me signify to you that he had put a great wager on your head, so this is the matter.
I beseech you, remember?
Nay, good my lord, for my ease in good faith. Sir, his is merely come to court of Laertes, but believe me, an absolute gentleman was full of most excellent differences, with a very social society and a great showing. You're not ignorant at what excellence Laertes is at his weapon?
What's his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
That's two of his weapons, but, well.
The king, sir, has laid you, sir, that in dozen passes between yourself and him, he shall not exceed you 3 hits. He has laid on 12 for 9, and he will come to an immediate trial if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no?
I mean, my lord, the opposition of a person in trial.
Sir, I will walk here in the hall if it please his majesty. It is the breathing time of day with me. Let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing, and the king hold his purpose. I will win for him, if I can. If not, I will gain nothing but my shame and the audience.
Shall I deliver you, sir?
To this effect, sir, after what flourish your nature will.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours. She does well to commend it herself. There are no tongues else for her turn.
You will lose, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. I shall win, at the odds. I must not think how ill all's here about my heart, but it is no matter.
Nay, good my lord.
It is but foolery, but it is such a kind of gain-giving as would perhaps trouble a woman.
If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither and say you are not
No, wait! We defy augury. There is special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. Readiness is all. Since no man of aught he leaves knows aught, what is it to leave betimes? Let it be.
Come, Hamlet. Come and take this hand from me.
Your pardon, sir, I have done you wrong, but pardon it, as you are a gentleman. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard, how I am punished with this sore distraction. What I have done that might your nature, honor, and exception roughly await, I here proclaim, was madness. Was it Hamlet? Wrong Laertes, never Hamlet. If Hamlet from himself be ta'en away, and when he's not himself does wrong Laertes, then Hamlet does it not. Hamlet denies it. Who does it then? His madness. If it be so, Hamlet is of the faction that is wrong. His madness is poor Hamlet's enemy. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts that I have shot my arrow over the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. But in what terms of honor I stand with you, and will no reconcile. So by some elder masters of known honor, I have a voice and precedent of peace to keep my name uncoured. Until that time, I do receive your offered love like love. You will not wrong me.
And embrace it freely. And will this brother's wager frankly play? Give us the foils.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance, your skill shall like a star in the darkest night stick fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir.
No, by this hand.
Give them the foils, young Osric. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager?
Very well, my lord. Your grace's laid the laws on the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I've seen you both. But since he is better, we have therefore odds.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
This likes me well. These foils have all the length.
Aye, good lord.
If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit and answer the third exchange, the king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup an union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have won. Come, begin, and you the judges, bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Nothing that away.
Come, my lord.
What? No! Judgment!
A hit. Very popular hit.
Well, again.
Stay! Give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
I'll play this bout first, it's a final one. Come. Another hit, Mateo!
Our son shall win.
Fat and scant of breath. Hamlet, take thy napkin, rub thy brows. The queen crowds us to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
Will my lord, I pray you pardon me.
It's the poison cup. It's too late.
I dare not drink it, madam. By and by.
Let me walk my face.
My lord, I'll hit him now.
No, I do not think it.
It is almost against my conscience.
Come, for the third Laertes. You do but dally. Pray you pass with your best friends. I am feared you may go wanton of me.
Say you so? Come on, then! boycott of mine own strange husband, and justly killed as many untested.
Now that's the queen!
She swoons to see them bleed.
No! No! The drink! The drink! My dear Hamlet! The drink! The drink! I am poisoned!
Villainy! Throw, let the door be locked! Treachery, seek it out!
It is here, Hamlet! Hamlet, thou art slain! No medicine in the world can do thee good. Indeed, there is not half an hour's life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Oh, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother is poisoned. I can no more. The king's to blame.
Point in venom too, and then venom to thy work. Thou says she was a murderous damned. Break off this potion! Is thy evening here? Follow my mother!
He is justly so. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, Hamlet. Mine and my father's debts come not on thee, nor mine on thee.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. I'm dead, Horatio. Wretched queen. And you, they look pale and tremble at this chance. That Armut mutes our audience to this act, and I but time, as this full Sergeant Death is strict in his arrest. Oh, I could tell you, but let it be. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my cause aright to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more the antique Roman than the Dane. There's yet some liquor left.
The stars a man! Give me the cup! Let go! I have no hands! Oh God, Horatio! What a wounded name! Then standing thus unknown shall I leave behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. Oh! I die, Horatio! The potent poison quite o'ercrows my spirit. The rest is silence.
Now cracks the noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
Thank you all for joining us on this Sunday afternoon. There's a lot of other things you could have been doing, but you came with us for the Bard, so we really appreciate that. This is the second and final performance in this location. We have 7 more shows. If you like what you saw, come see us outside. Some of you already have. We rehearsal. We appreciate you coming back for this. So this show is free for the public. We do advertise it as free. You may suspect it's not free for us to produce. We do bear the cost ourselves. So some people have been donating autograph paper tickets. We'll have a few actors from past donation willing and able. We sure do appreciate that. So if you like what you saw, tell your friends. And thanks again for coming on out for Hamlet with us. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you. We love to talk about what we do, so we'll hang out. Any questions?
That's too sweet. Thank you so much. How much appreciated? Yes, so nice. So how did you get
I'm friends with Erin. I actually one of the other friends in this. So Erin